What's up, YouTube and my college football fans? It's Gamer Champ 23 back with another video. And guys and girls, I think we missed something from the deep dive that was very important, also from the creative director of College Football 25, Scott O'Gallagher. But before we get into today's content, do me a huge favor, hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. All right, without further ado, let's talk about it. So the news for college football 25 is super slow right now. And I'm sure, just as myself and you are as well, you are looking for more information. But I do believe with what was already discussed, we missed a few things. And this one is a huge one. So I was browsing on Twitter, or X as they call it, and I saw this tweet actually by Rick Lewis. And it was basically just stating one of the dynamics about football games I always found interesting is folks often say coverages are broken, when in reality, quarterbacks have on average way too much time to throw. Is a weaker pass rush a necessary allowance to make the quarterback role playable by mere mortals? I just thought that was a funny statement, a funny tweet, but it's very true. So Scott OG replied back and said the changes up front are immediately noticeable and have not been discussed enough. You don't have much time to wait and make those third window throws, except for in particular situations when the defense brings three or you have a big advantage up front. So this lets me know right here, and if you like college football, if you like football in general, you understand if you can't block, you can't win. And if you can't rush the passer or get after the QB, you can't win. The battle of the trenches have got to matter. And from what we're looking at right now, what we see, it looks like this was a big emphasis, and that's a round of applause right there. Like, seriously. Because what you fail to realize is in this deep dive, as I go back and just look through it now, we see the pressures that are shown in this gameplay trailer. When you really think about it, they were getting after the quarterback. Now, at some points they did, have time to throw the ball, but as you go and look at it, you see double A gap blitzes, you see the one-on-one moves by the defensive end, especially the one from Georgia in the first trailer. And so this is a big win. If you like football, because one of the things, like Rick was saying, is that you just have too much time, especially in Madden. You just have way too much time to to take those deep shots, and sometimes seems like the defensive line isn't programmed the best. But in college football, if you got a good O-line and you're playing against somebody who has a weak defensive line, it should matter. The battle of the trenches should always matter. And I can see this really taking a huge role, especially in dynasty mode. Let's just say if you got a powerhouse team and you're playing against a lower rated team, the battle of the trenches, it's going to matter, and it should matter, because that team that has a great offensive line should dominate the defensive line, and vice versa. If you're playing against a good team that has a great defensive line and you're playing against maybe a slouch of a team that has a not up to par O-line, it should matter. Like, ratings should matter. And it's refreshing to see and to read this tweet that the battle of the trenches is going to be super important. So it's like I said, especially in dynasty mode, when you get into recruiting, especially when you're playing online, don't think you're going to take a lower rated team that may not be as good in the trenches is going to stomp over the powerhouses. And so you have to keep that in mind when you're playing online, or you're playing against a computer, or if you're playing in dynasty mode. These things will matter. And when like I said about recruiting, this is going to play a huge role in recruiting. So this was a big thing that I think a lot of us did not see, and I really didn't. Like I said, I really didn't pay attention to it when I initially watched the gameplay trailer, because it's just so much going on, so many great things that you're looking at. And which leads me to another point too. This is going to be a great counter for them custom stems because, like I said, if you can't block, how are you gonna throw an additional or sting your route rather additional 5 to 8 yards that O line can't hold up? You know, now granted, if the D line, if you're playing against a slouch of a D line and they're not good, well, guess what? Those custom stem routes will probably work a little bit better and you'll be able to do what you want to do. So to me, this sounds like this game is going to be a chess match, in which that's what the game of football is. It's definitely going to be a chess match. And I'm sure, just like myself, you can't wait to get your hands on it. So I just wanted to bring this video to you guys and girls that it looks like the battle of trenches are back in football gaming, and that is a welcome sign. See you guys on my next video.